There are moments in public life when the distance between two people in the same room tells you more than any formal statement ever could, and what was reportedly observed at Westminster Cathedral last September between Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and the Prince of Wales may well be one of those moments. Welcome to Crown Tea. I'm George, and today we're examining what the footage from that service and the forensic analysis that followed reveals not just about one man's predicament, but about the considerably larger question of where personal accountability meets institutional expectation within the modern British royal family.
Now, speaking of, Prince William is reportedly frustrated by delays in removing Andrew Mountbatten Windsor from the line of royal succession. He's been really pushing for this, hasn't he, Kinsey?
You're right. And the UK government is considering legislation to remove Andrew from his position as eighth in the line to the throne. But officials say that the process could take years and would not even begin until the current investigation concludes as to whether or not he revealed government secrets to Epstein while he was an envoy. But that timeline is especially.
If you value measured royal analysis without the sensationalism, do consider subscribing to Crown Tea. It genuinely helps us keep producing this kind of considered coverage. Now to the story itself, because the context surrounding this reported exchange is as significant as the exchange itself. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has, over the course of several years, moved from the periphery of royal difficulty into what can only be described as a sustained institutional crisis. His connection to the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein has been the defining shadow over his public standing for some time, and while he has consistently and publicly denied any wrongdoing, the consequences for his royal position have been considerable, and, it appears, ongoing. His HRH styling and titles were removed last November, and according to multiple reports, he was subsequently asked to vacate the Royal Lodge in Windsor, a home he had long occupied. That sequence of events alone would represent a dramatic fall from grace for someone who spent the majority of his life at the very centre of British royal life. But the situation reportedly became significantly more acute last month when Andrew was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office, a development that, it should be noted clearly, remains an active and evolving matter. The arrest is understood to relate to claims that, during his tenure as the United Kingdom's trade envoy, confidential files were allegedly sent to the paedophile financier Epstein. No charges have been formally confirmed at the time of this script, and the matter is subject to ongoing legal processes. It is against that accumulating backdrop that the footage from Westminster Cathedral in September 2025 takes on a particular weight. During a service held there, Andrew was observed attempting to engage with his nephew, the Prince of Wales. The interaction, visible to those in attendance and subsequently reviewed by Channel 5's programme Lip-Reading the Royals, The Secret Conversations, was subjected to forensic lip-reading analysis by Nicola Hickling, who reportedly concluded that Andrew said, and I'm paraphrasing the reported translation here, that he had learned from what he had done and was asking whether forgiveness was possible. Prince William, according to reports from the Mirror, appeared to turn away. There was also a further moment of visible discomfort, reportedly, as Andrew was seen laughing beside the Prince of Wales, who appeared visibly ill at ease. Now, it is important to be measured about what forensic lip-reading can and cannot tell us. It is an interpretive discipline, not a verbatim transcript, and the conclusions drawn from it represent a professional reading rather than a confirmed record of speech. What it does offer, however, is a compelling lens through which to examine the reported atmosphere between these two men, and the broader reality of Andrew's position within his family. Royal commentator Andrew Lenny has spoken publicly about Andrew's apparent sense of grievance, suggesting that the former prince believes the situation he finds himself in is deeply unfair, and that status has remained central to his identity. That framing is analytically interesting, because it speaks to the tension at the heart of his predicament between a man who reportedly still sees himself through the prism of his royal standing and an institution that has, by all visible measures, drawn a very firm line. Reports have also emerged that Andrew and his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson had been considering a period abroad, specifically in the Gulf region, before his arrest intervened, and before the wider instability across the Middle East rendered any such plans impractical. Whether that represented a genuine attempt at reinvention or simply a desire to remove himself from the immediate pressure of British public scrutiny is, of course, something we cannot know with certainty. What we can observe with some confidence is that the situation as it stands remains unresolved on almost every significant dimension, legally, personally, and institutionally. The reported exchange at Westminster Cathedral, if the lip-reading analysis is accurate, suggests that Andrew has sought at some level to reach his family. Whether that represents genuine reflection or something more transactional in nature is not for us to determine here. What it does illustrate, rather starkly, is the distance that now exists, not merely geographically or institutionally, but in terms of trust and standing between Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and the family in which he was raised. This is a situation that continues to develop, and Crown Tea will follow it with the same care and balance that it deserves.